celebrate our BTs and mentors, and all that we've accomplished, and we all have accomplished things in this, what seems like an extensively long first semester, but in this short period of time in our careers, to review the grading policies and finalizing grades, and review strategies for building and maintaining positive relationships and improving parent communication. Next slide. All right, so we all know the letter grading system for our grading policy, and this is just another recap from what is in our staff handbook regarding the grading policy. We are on a 10-point scale, A, B, C, D, and F. Anything less than a 60 is an F. We don't usually do incompletes unless we have previous approval or prior approval from admin. Pass-fail is for your SMART block or exploratory class. And we don't do fail for violation of attendance policy. That would be something that definitely would have been through our counselor. So I don't think we have any students in that situation. Next slide. All right, so for grading, we have our categories of major, intermediate, and minor. The minimum grade requirement is that we have 10 grades for the grading period, with 6 being intermediate grades, at least 1 minor grade, and 3 major grades. Please, 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 as we are wrapping quarter 2 on Friday, that we have allowed or allotted time for students to make up work, making sure that if there are students that have incomplete assignments or have not completed assignments, that you've made some kind of parent contact before you can seal a 0 for that student, and that you've offered opportunities for makeup. If you have not made any kind of parent contact, you cannot just leave a 0 in there for that student. Just go ahead and make that grade a 50 for that individual student. Just knowing for going forward, that we do need to make sure that we're making parent communication when students aren't completing assignments. And we know we have a lot of absences going on with current students quarantining, the bus issues, and just be wise as teachers in what you're counting as grades based on absences. If the student is not here, don't count that against them. They were not here to do the assignment, so just exempt that assignment. If you have any questions in regards to whether you can keep a 0, if you need to exempt or mark it as a 50, myself, and we can have that discussion, because sometimes it is circumstantial. It's situation by situation or case by case. But if you have any questions or concerns about how to mark or grade for a student, please reach out. Next slide. Test corrections, again, if you are offering test correction, please make sure that if you have a PLT that you all are doing the same thing, that you're consistent with how you are offering test correction, and so that it is consistent and fair across the board, because you don't want one teacher to give full credit back and another teacher to give half credit back. You want to make sure that you're being consistent with your test correction and that it's agreed upon within your PLT or the group in which you are sharing the assessment. All right, so we know that from, you can skip this slide, Ms. Walzak, I'm sorry. Finalizing grades in Power School or Power Teacher. Please make sure that if you have a student that has an average, not a actual grade, but their class average below a 50, you have to do a manual override for the average and percentage to make it a 50. And please make sure that you include the note that the student's actual grade is below the reported percentage. Because you do want parents to know that what the students are doing, and not necessarily have to put a 22 in there, because that does hurt the student's final grade. If a student is able to get back on track, they don't have to struggle as much to try to get to a passing level, because at 50 is still an F. Those are the instructions listed with finalizing your grades through comment verification. And because we're at the end of the semester, you do have to do quarter 1 grades and your semester 1 grades for your core classes. If you are an elective teacher that has quarter grades, you are doing quarter 2 and F1. If it is a semester class, again, you're doing quarter 2 and S1. Again, if you would like assistance with finalizing your grades, please make sure you reach out to me in a timely manner, not at the last minute. And when you're on the comment verification screen, please make sure that you're double checking your grade averages to make sure that you have no grades below a 50. Any questions so far? Once you got all your grades cleaned up and you finalize all, please make sure that you print each verification screen for the quarter and semester. So you're submitting 2 sheets for each class period that you have grades for, signing and dating each sheet, turning it into Ms. Chundy by 3 o'clock Tuesday, January 18th. All right, so additional information, again, you can find the grading policy in the staff handbook, and I have the pages listed and linked here. Quarter 2 ends Friday. If you have grades that if you've given us, take a grade and you don't want it to be on quarter 2, please make sure that you update it to quarter 3. And make sure that on next Wednesday, the 19th, to go into Power School, that it does reflect quarter 3. If you come up and say, oh, I put grades in, but I can't find them, it's probably because you put it in the wrong quarter. Again, as we're closing quarter 2, please make sure that you don't have any grades average, student averages below a 50 without doing a manual override, that you're going to submit a verification sheet for quarter 2 and semester 1. For core classes and semester elective classes, if you have quarter classes for elective and F1. Grades are due again Tuesday by 3 p.m. to Ms. Chundy. And please, 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 at all costs, try to have them in, because Ms. Chundy and I have to go through every class of grades. And we don't want to have to hunt you down, because we will. Sorry, but not sorry. Because we have to allow for printing and for counselors to go through with us the report card grades to make sure all the grades are as they should be. And if you get an email from myself or Ms. Chundy, just please make that in a timely manner and get it back to us. Report cards will go home on Friday the 21st, and quarter 3 will start on January 19th. Any questions? Mr. Stewart.
Wait, just to be clear, since PE is not year-round anymore, we're doing quarter 2 grades and semester 1 only, no F1?
Right. For some students, PE, is it for all students now?
All students. It's
all students. So then, yes. So you're doing quarter 2 and F1.
Quarter 2 F1, not S1.
Right, because that's the final grade for that group of students. Because you had them for quarter 1 and quarter 2, correct?
Right.
They're going to get a final grade, not an S1.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. De La Rosa.
For year-round classes, we still do F1 as well, correct?
No, the F1 is only if you have them for a quarter or it's ending the semester. So like Mr. Stewart just said, PE is just semester long. So those students will get a quarter 2 grade and an F1 grade. If you have year long, so you're going to have those students for second semester, you're going to do quarter 2 and S1, semester 1.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. I was asking about S1, not F1. I just got them mixed up. Okay, thank you.
Quarter 2 and S1, semester 1.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome. Please also remember, and I know some of us may have overlooked, make sure your rosters are the same. For whatever reason, like I got an email Tuesday that the Power School attendance roster is correct, but in Power Teacher, the grading roster is not correct. Please let myself and Ms. Chundy know if you have a situation like that, because we need to make an adjustment, or at least let you know for report card printing purposes what to do about those students. And hopefully by now you would have caught that. But if not, please let us know ASAP if you have a situation like that, or you've been carrying a student all quarter, but they have not shown up. Please let us know. Because if you submit it and there are no grades, we're going to be under the assumption that that kid should have a grade and we're going to kick it back to you. Any other questions? Mr. Henderson.
Yeah, so on that note, there's one particular student that's been on the roster in my third core class and for the sixth grade. The rest of us that has not shown up since the beginning of school, still there.
You're going to have to give him a manual override of a 50. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about for that.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yes. Ms. Eller.
Yeah, so I have a kid. She's a sixth grader, and I'm assuming that she is a new student, but she was added to the roster. But she has not come to my class yet because of COVID reasons. I'm assuming. Her mom emailed me about it, and so I have no grades for her. So would I just give her a 50 as well, or do I just exempt all of those grades?
No, the student that just got added, and if you will send me the first name and last initial, because I have another sixth grader that's similar. I want to know if it's the same kid. The kids that just got added, they should have transfer grades. So
Okay.
we want to check with the counselors to see if they have gotten transfer grades or their students' grades from the previous school, and you can use that final average. You can't fill it because they haven't been here.
Right. Okay. I was
Yeah.
just asking. I've exempted her from everything, but I didn't know if I needed to like put at least one grade in there, but she hasn't done any work. So
Yeah, so reach out to Miss Wolf to see if she's gotten this student's transfer grades, and you can use what they left with from their other school. If not, then yes, you're going to have to exempt the student from all of the assignments, and they're just start fresh
okay.
for quarter 3.
Okay.
Ms. De La Rosa.
Sorry. Also a student who was sick at the beginning of the quarter for one of my quarter classes and wasn't here for a hot minute, did like a few assignments, and then is out for, I assume, COVID reasons as well. Now it's not put in as COVID, but I've contacted the parent. I haven't heard back. But they don't have many assignments either. So I have exempted them from all of the assignments. Is that all we can do?
At this point, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yes, because this student hasn't been in school enough to even have an opportunity for what would be considered makeup work. And we're at the end of the quarter. So unfortunately, you're going to have to go with what you have.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any others?